Welcome back to the class, everyone. It's been 2 weeks now, and not gonna lie, I had to remember what time I was supposed to record this. So we're finally getting back into things. We are in 5v5 once again, and we're not just back in 5v5, but we're into datacrons now. So I guess a quick thing that I could do to kind of show everyone what's going on besides just the general rosters is I could show everyone where my datacrons are. So we're not doing too hot here. We've got a dark side one. This actually like this one a lot. I think this one's going to be super broken, particularly with either Lord Vader or just Darth Vader. Darth Vader might actually get to shine in this battle. So yeah, we have the dark side ability where they get, after they put out 4 debuffs, they have a 10% chance to reduce their cooldowns by 1, or at least when they apply at least 4 debuffs. And then we also have the light side when they gain offense every time they have 2 buffs. So both those are pretty good. Not super broken. I think a lot of the broken stuff comes in the later levels, but at the same time, it's nice to have. That being said, my opponent, he's got a pretty disgusting datacron. He's got a level 9 Ray, and luckily it's not the better, at least I don't think this is like the better datacron for her. It is the 5% max health and protection per relic amplifier, and damage they received is decreased by 15. Basically this is like a second jail unique, a little less effective, but still like they didn't need any more help. And then like this is okay, the health and protection, and then this is actually pretty good, the gaining turn meter. They also got 100% health steal. So that team is probably going to be a massive pain in the butt because, of course, it is on defense. Then he's got these other two. I don't believe this one was rolled by the time our match started, though, so this shouldn't be really relevant. I could be wrong, because I really hope I'm wrong, because that one looks like it's going to suck. There's an Inquisitorius one there, but we're not going to look at every single one of these. So, that being said, let's go ahead and look up the rest of the stuff that is going to be happening during this match. Transfer over to this screen here. So this is our opponent, Brule Houston, or Huston, I don't know. Pretty not even match, but this is one of our better matches where our opponent only has 300 more relic levels than us, which is, you know, fine. He's got not a lot of other advantages outside of that. Like, we've got him almost matched on everything. Omicrons, we have them identical, which is kind of cool. We both have the same 7. He's got Ray, and we don't. That's his, I guess, another advantage that he's got. But like, mods are pretty darn close across the board. I guess he has his beat in most of these categories by a small margin. Like, he has 2 more plus 25s, 30 more plus 20s. That actually probably is going to make a difference. And then yeah, we have him slightly beaten plus 15s, so pretty square across the board there. And I think that just about sums it up as far as roster. So let's go ahead and see what he's put on defense for us. And I've already seen it, and it's a handful. So I figured that this was actually going to be the exact defense. He's got like a lot of low level datacrons on all of these, and then he's got the level 8 over here, and we need to see how much that's going to actually affect Night Sister. So this is a pretty deadly front wall. Not sure what we're really going to be able to do. I would love to. I'm probably going to end up armorer and seeing this. That's probably going to be the idea. We've been testing an arena to make sure that we have the exact amount of damage to be able to do that to a SLKR that has this much damage. This should probably be pretty easy. Lord Vader is just going to get SLKR'd. Hopefully that works. It would be great if this was the one that they have like a bunch of health steal on this, because then SLKR gets to destroy them. Oh yeah, okay. So this should make SLKR really easy, I think. Whenever Inquisitorius allies inflict a debuff on an enemy during their turn, they deal bonus damage equal to max 10 health. That shouldn't be that bad, because she's probably going to get stuck hitting zombie for the most part. So hopefully that doesn't really ruin us. Really, what gets scary is what's up here. So there's these squads, the Dash, the JMK. The JMK is actually really nasty. It's actually an anti-mirror JMK. He has a super fast R2 that is going to smoke screen his JMK. So, like, unless you have a cat that's faster than 349, which a lot of people do, I don't, the mirror almost doesn't work here. So we're going to have to try JML just out of necessity. And we actually don't even have JMK on offense. And then, yeah, the Ray, I mean, that just is what it is. She's modded pretty darn well. And our defense, I guess we'll take a little bit more time with this being the first 5v5 here. So we did put down a pretty mean defense. No Galactic Legends. Pretty standard Darth Revan, Maul, Gas, Starkiller. These really aren't that important. This one has like 3% protection. I think this one has 20% potency. So not huge bonuses for those teams, but I mean, I had level 1s. I might as well use them. Back wall, we've got CLS with the offense and light side. I'm contemplating whether or not that should have gone on JMK. I really probably wouldn't have made a difference versus JML, which is his only option right now. And then Bam is there. And I kind of like where my defense is going, where I feel like I'm finally able to put down fairly meta squads, even, granted the fact that we didn't put down a Galactic Legends. Like Dash is probably my weakest team on defense now, or maybe Mon Mothma, and I kind of like those squads, so I'm finally feeling really good about that. And then our fleet is the same as it was in 3v3, really just all out there, Negotiator, Executor, as well as our Tarkin fleet. I do prefer Thrawn over Tarkin, but at the same time, Thrawn has proved a lot more useful for cleanup than Tarkin did. So that is going to be it. Let's go ahead and get to them battles, guys. All right, now here come the battles for 5v5. It's been a minute. So we're coming up against the Lord Vader team first. And this one's interesting because he does have the datacron in here where he is going to get more health steal. Actually, quite a bit. I think it's like a 300% health steal or something like that. So the whole team is going to be constantly at full health. This is actually, this sucks for a lot of counters, particularly bounty hunters. But my goodness, does it make SLKR a breeze, because you probably haven't been able to see it yet, but we're getting to our ultimate super quick because we're constantly being able to crit, and we were able to line everything up right as normal with crew and with zombie in there, so that we were never having someone super important fractured. It was always going to be one of the tanks, and the other one was able to take all the hits from Maul. So we're doing really stinking well here. Zombie is now super paper, so she's not going to be able to be fractured anymore. She's going to be killed. We do unfortunately lose both crew and Watt in the time that Vader was in his ult, so I don't think they can be brought back. Actually, Watt might have been not, but either way, he's not coming back. And then, like I said beforehand, they're constantly at full health, so we're now at, I think, our second ult, and we're only 2 or so minutes into this, and then with everyone getting back to full health, there's some really, really big hits getting out. I mean, you can see the Lord Vader is almost falling over here, and then we get that hit over. He's back at full health and dies on an AoE. So the health steal, I think, is probably the biggest game changer overall when it comes to the datacrons in game, but it's not everything. It's very counter dependent. It obviously made that counter easier. So we're going to go ahead and use C armor here for against SLKR. Just the way I just split my GLs up, this is the best option. And yeah, this is honestly pretty secure, even with his team being a lot higher relics. It does get a little close there with crew and armor. If he was able to stun her, this would have just been a hard game over. But once C gets 3 stacks of Beskar, there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing the enemy can do. Even when we were testing this in arena to kind of show everyone what it would look like, we just put it on auto. Like, as soon as you get the 3 stacks of Beskar, that is game. There's really nothing the opponent can do about it, even with, superior mods and relics. I mean, I think SLKR is 2 relics higher than we are. He had, I think, Crew's R8 as well, so doesn't make a huge difference. And what is kind of cool, and we're gonna see this at the beginning of the next fight, which is probably gonna be coming up here in a second, is he put all 3 dark side GLs on the bottom wall, and to counter them, we use all 3 dark side GLs as well, but we just, we use it in a manner that's fairly efficient. The SLKR battle wasn't super great, but yeah, Lord Vader's gonna, spoiler alert, he's gonna just soul the C team, even with Talon, even with Malik there. It really just doesn't matter. And you'd think this battle would be a little harder, because I mean, they have two forms of ability block and 2 forms of healing immunity for the most part. You would think that they would just destroy Lord Vader, but the issue is he has so much survivability. That just as soon as they start to actually doing, some damage and starting to look like they're going to get somewhere, we're able to get ult. And once we get ult, all healing immunity, shock, ability block, all of that just means nothing because we become immune to it. And then we can just start healing all the way back up. And then all the progress they made was for naught. Most of these teams did have like a level 1 datacron on it. Not really important enough to comment on. Obviously, it's not going to make a difference in this counter. And I think at this point, I think we just put it on auto. Like, there's not really a lot that the AI can screw up here. It's just spam the specials when you get to the ult, proc it, Using specials again, that the ability block is obviously very nice. Healing immunity is pretty good too. But I think Malik actually died from dots, which is a pretty rare spectacle. He doesn't typically do that because he's not immune to them, but he takes reduced damage from them. But he can still, if there's enough of them and he's low enough health, he can still die for them. And then yeah, Lord Vader just rips right into C here. We get the third ult and then just destroy him. So last team on this bottom wall is his Bounty Hunter team. This Bounty Hunter team is actually really, really good. And one of the reasons it's good is because he has the potency datacron on it. So all that potency, not only from their mods, but also from their the datacron, it enables them to get a ton of damage. And unfortunately, Boba goes in and executes Qui-Gon. And the whole point of this strategy is for them to attack everyone but Qui-Gon, and then they get and then General Anakin just gets ticked off and beats the tar out of everyone. However, yeah, this isn't ideal, losing Qui-Gon that early. And then I mean this is just hard to kill them. That's an R8 Cad Bane, and he has, I believe, pretty sure he has evasion as mastery. So he has 25% natural evasion, and then he gets 25% more evasion from his contract. So that dodge in there wasn't, I mean, sure, it was slightly frustrating, but at the same time was just kind of expected. Like, what did you think was going to happen? But now, funnily enough, don't get to do this very often. We got to use our Ewoks because they have really, really good control, and we're able, I mean, you guys can see it right now, we're able to come in here and get right in after them. Try to avoid using the taunt with Papalu just so he's a little bit faster there in the beginning. We don't end up using it until we need the big hit to actually kill Cad Bane. And from here, could probably put this on auto as well, honestly. They're just gonna, actually, there's Ewoks are quite a bit more nuanced. Probably shouldn't have, probably a good thing we didn't do that. But yeah, I mean, Embo's just gonna go on. We were able to TM train him between everything we have, especially low grade being able to strip 100% TM goes a pretty long way. So easy 41 banners there against the Boba Fett team. We get to the back wall, and they have a few not easy teams, but very clear, like very clearly, I know the counter I want to use. Like, so they had Iden. Iden is very obvious Wampa for me. There's a few other things that we've done before, but it's just so easy. And Wampa didn't really have a higher calling up top. The C put down, obviously it had Malik in it, so that's probably really the only team that's more tempting than Iden to use Wampa against. The rest, I would probably use something else. Iden is still, while she's become counterable, she is still very relevant as far as the GAC meta goes. Just because she can be beaten doesn't mean she's an easy target. So, yep, took in Wampa here. As you can see, he does just fine, and I was going to say record time, but I have no idea if that's record time. Good enough. Good job, Wampa. You got your kill. So easy 68 there, and like I said, again, not another easy battle, but another battle that we already know exactly who we're gonna take in. So he's got his fully relic Mon Mothma team here, as most people do. We just go ahead and take in our Gear 11 Iden with Gear 12 troopers, and I mean, they do the job. We've done this counter probably every single time ever since Iden came out and Kyle Katarn came out. Just works really stinking well. There's not a lot to say about it. I mean, in threes, it becomes a little bit riskier because they have less people assisting, so you're not gaining as much turn meter. You're not gaining as much whatchamacalls. And that was probably, honestly, pretty good RNG there for a second. So Kyle Katarn went and uses big hit, and if he's not hitting Iden or he's not hitting Storm, he probably just one-shots, Snow or Death or Magma or someone. And that's not good. Like, we rely on a lot of stacking damage, honestly, to be able to get through this team. And to lose one of our only damage dealers probably just means we lose. I know that happened once when we went up against a big scomp that was really, really annoying. That being said, we also just death mark both Kyle Katarn and Kar, so they both go down really stinking easy. So now we're going up top, trying to get rid of that Bad Batch team. It's pretty good. It's pretty fast. It's got cam, but I mean, Bad Batch just destroys any Qui-Gon Jinn team. At least in fives, like there's just way too many control mechanics. Even like you'll see here, this is terrible for us. We didn't get the 2-turn stun on General Anakin, which is definitely what you want because we're about to bury Qui-Gon Jinn, but just doesn't matter. Even with the cam bonus damage there, we do like R1 Omega just totally tanks R8 and Anakin's AoE. Not a big deal. So now we have to finish this Galactic Legends, and I'm a little concerned about what we're supposed to use because he has the Super Ray over there, and then at the same time, this JMK is also not a piece of cake either. He has a pretty weak datacron on this one, but it has health steal and it has a 60% health steal, and that actually ends up making a huge difference. So we talked about how health steal was arguably good for us against the bottom team, or Lord Vader team, but you can see now health steal on this team is really stinking bad for us. Pretty much any time that Ahsoka is called in to assist, because we're going after her because she's the weakest, because the cat is like completely full health. I think she's like 110k health or something like that. So we couldn't go directly after her. We went for Ahsoka because she was supposed to be the easier kill. Granted, she also is R8, and I mean, you know, I think the average relic for my team is maybe R5, I want to say. No, it's probably a little bit higher than that. But yeah, you can see this every single time she's getting called into assist, she's pretty much going right back up to full health because of that health steal, and that just dooms us because now she's got damage immunity on her. We're even able to get our own ult. We're even able to get, you know, two pretty well timed Jolie AoEs, and it's just not enough. I mean, even if we were able to get through the Ahsoka in this very beginning part, yeah, again, she was like at 50% health, does one attack at a turn, she's back to full 100% health. So, I mean, we just weren't going to win here. I believe we do just end up forfeiting that. And that really, we had a very slim chance, honestly, of beating this guy beforehand, but this really just does put it under wraps. Like, yeah, we're not getting through her, so I think at this point, just go ahead and forfeit it. That's game. So we're gonna try to salvage what we can in the rest of the match. He's got his bounty hunters up here. Not his bounty hunters, sorry, his dash team, and we're gonna go ahead and take our own bounty hunters against that. It should be pretty easy. The dash is 380 speed. Luckily, my boss with the Zamicron is at 388, so we just barely get in front of him. We get our contract. We start beating up on Vet Han because, you know, we can, because we're gonna just take out Dash, and Dad Bubba over there is doing his typical nothing. He loves to do nothing, at least in JC. But yeah, not a lot they can do. We wait to use the taunt because we didn't have frenzy at that one point. I do just go ahead and beat up on Dad Bubba a little bit because I wanted us to hit a character that we were gonna kill and also crit just for more turn meter. And then, you know, he's pretty squishy as well. Oh, I guess Zam hitting for 60k is kind of nice. At one point, we did try to circle around with Zam as well for the added health steal. And yeah, Zam's actually shows a fair amount of damage here. Unfortunately, IG over here is going to get a turn. He's going to strip all my protection banners off, so that's a bummer. But luckily, Aura lead, whenever you kill someone, I'm pretty sure you get protection back. So that is pretty darn handy. We go ahead and dig in General Grievous versus Phasma, just because, I mean, Grievous is just a way better team than Phasma. I mean, we're gonna recommend. I don't think they get a turn, to be honest. We get target lock on their dark side. They can't do anything about it. We go ahead and steal Fox's health, just because he has the most, and that increase Grievous's damage the most. I will stun Xylo because I guess I don't want him to take a turn. The extortion is also supposed to kind of help with that. Get everyone down, and now luckily, Grievous has a bunch of defense penetration already naturally in his kit, so we just, even with Xylo's stacking defense, we just end up ripping right through. I mean, just doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, we don't fully rip right through until Grievous takes a turn, so I lose 2 banners, so that's a little annoying. And then just for funsies, we decided to try Darth Vader with the debuff datacron versus this team, and some pretty good sides. Darkus actually here as a tank. The plan was to put the mark on him so that if Rey ever got to our whirlwinds, she would just take a stack of dark down. And unfortunately, we're not even really able to ever put out 4 debuffs at the same time, because I think their datacron has both tenacity on it, so it keeps that for the most part. But then also, like, Haldo and Jedi Training Rey are super annoying with their foresight, so we can't put we're not able to put debuffs down on a character that has foresight because it's not unavailable. So, yep, Rey gets to her ult, and that's pretty much all she wrote. So, that was the end of the battle for the most part. You can see here we weren't able to do anything to either Rey or JMK. Nothing else in my roster is going to, especially, like, you can kind of pick apart Rey sometimes, but not when she had the level 9 datacron, and yeah, we just didn't have a whole lot to work with. But he did pretty well on his attacks. I think he failed a total of 2 battles or so we got through this pretty easily. He used bounty hunters on our mall. It got a little sketchy. I think we killed Bosk, but ultimately they got through, and then he failed on. I'm actually really curious to see what failed against Bam. Because he had quite a few lower level tiers, I guess, to work with. Then First Order Hux held as well with the Omicron in there, so that's kind of cool. I'm interested to see what he did there, and then he went through, and I believe he one-shot ships too. So, I mean, even without the datacrons here, I think just being down 1 GL, like if we had a ray and we were able to mirror his ray, and then we could probably blame datacrons because the JML didn't work because of the health still constantly bringing everyone back on this one. But yeah, overall it was a pretty good match. Bro, I know we actually talked to our opponent quite a bit during the match. He doing it in chat. He was a pretty good sport, so I've said it like 5 times now, but good game to you, man. Kind of hope we don't face again, but if we do, hopefully it's in a minute so that I can catch up to you a little bit. But that is going to be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and as always, stay awesome.